This car can confidently be considered a people's vehicle and one of the most sought after on the secondary market in its price category. The Opel Astra H debuted at the Frankfurt Motor Show in 2003 with sales starting in 2004. In addition to Germany, the vehicles were also assembled in Russia at the General Motors plant near St. Petersburg and at the Avtotur facility in Kaliningrad. According to numerous reviews, this model is known for its affordable price, low maintenance costs, reliability, and fairly decent comfort. Is this really the case? In this video, we will take a detailed look at the Opel Astra H, find out which engine and transmission are the best fit, which versions are worth choosing, and which ones to avoid. We will also explore how well this car protects the driver and passengers in critical situations, and ultimately whether it is worth buying. The Opel Astra H was produced in several body styles, including sedan, 3- and 5-door hatchback, station wagon, and even convertible. The sedan and station wagon have an extended wheelbase of 89mm, positively affecting the space available for rear passengers, which is often lacking in the hatchback. When choosing a model, it is important to note that bodies produced from 2004 to 2010 had only partial galvanization, while those made from 2010 to 2014 were fully treated. Despite the thin layer of paint, the car is not prone to corrosion, and extensive damage typically results from low-quality repairs or poor use. In addition to checking the body for corrosion, it's also advisable to pay attention to the door hinges, especially on the driver's door of older models. If such a defect is present, it's a great reason to negotiate the price. You can also lower the cost due to worn-out chrome, which loses its shine over time and begins to peel off, and restoring it is not cheap. The windshield on the Astra is fairly durable, but it does wear out over time. On earlier models, windshields were replaced under warranty, so don't be alarmed if the year of the car doesn't match the year on the windshield. However, the headlights are a weak point. The cover material is too soft, and its real lifespan is about 3-4 years. Additionally, the headlight reflector fades over the same period, which could also be a bargaining point when inspecting the vehicle. Early models were mostly equipped with gasoline engines with displacements of 97 and 110 cubic inches, 1.6 and 1.8 liters, while the 85 cubic inch, 1.4 liter versions are rarer. All of these 16-valve engines have a minimum lifespan of 155,000 miles, 250,000 kilometers, thanks to a well-thought-out design. The main downside is the weak control unit prone to overheating and cracks in the solder. The ignition and throttle body are highly durable and only need regular maintenance and cleaning. However, the EGR system and variable intake manifold are poorly suited for local conditions. The EGR valve clogs and fails to close, and the manifold becomes sooty and oily. Nevertheless, the core of these engines is built with a good margin of safety, with timely replacement of the timing belt and fixing the inevitable leaks caused by the primitive crankcase ventilation system and blockage in the post-throttle area. The engine will last long. Interestingly, there are examples on the market with over 250,000 miles on the odometer, consuming just 6.8 ounces of oil per 1,000 miles. And when the engine eventually fails, repairs won't be too expensive since the price of parts is relatively low compared to other brands. Newer engines with 97 and 110 cubic inches, 1.6 and 1.8 liters feature an updated cylinder head and a variable valve timing system in the timing mechanism. After the facelift, these engines lost their hydraulic lifters, which means that valve adjustments are needed every 37,000 miles, though the manufacturer optimistically claims 93,000 miles. After the Astra was updated, it received a controlled thermostat, a higher engine operating temperature, an oil cooler, a new type of oil filter, and a water pump driven by a different mechanism instead of the timing belt. These changes didn't significantly affect the maximum lifespan of the piston group, which remains quite high with reasonable maintenance intervals. However, the likelihood of individual component failures has increased. There are numerous complaints about the variable valve timing system and its solenoids, which are prone to unpleasant noises and cause unstable RPMs. On the bright side, there is no EGR system, and the intake manifold doesn't get clogged. When choosing a vehicle, it's important to know that cars from Europe often have engines in worse condition, even with confirmed mileage. This is because oil changes abroad are done at longer intervals, typically every 9,300 miles, while here, drivers tend to change oil every 6,200 miles, or even 4,300 miles. The smaller 61 cubic inch, 1.0 liter engines in this series generally don't cause significant problems, and the repairability and price of spare parts are pleasantly surprising. surprising. Diesel engines, on the other hand, can be quite temperamental. Despite their fuel efficiency, these engines often suffer from issues with the fuel system, head gasket corrosion, and common problems with the EGR intake leaks, clogged catalytic converters, and diesel particulate filters. For these reasons, it's generally not recommended to buy a diesel Astra. The Astra was available with 3 transmission options: manual, automatic, and a robotic gearbox, Easytronic. The manual transmission has some quirks. The reverse gear often has difficulty engaging right after stopping due to the lack of a synchronizer. Another common issue with the manual transmission is leakage at the rear crankshaft seal, where the transmission meets the engine. Additionally, some transmissions develop cracks along the seams after 43,000 miles. If you notice jerks when engaging first or third gear, don't delay repairs. The cause is likely low quality oil or oil starvation. The secondary shaft bearing can wear out after about 31,000 miles, and symptoms include jerky starts and an annoying noise that turns into a hum as speed increases. For vehicles with the 110 cubic inch, 1.8-liter engine and the 79 cubic inch, 1.3-liter diesel engine, the risk of manual transmission failure is especially high. According to some estimates, more than a third of vehicles with such engines and mileage over 37,000 miles have undergone at least one transmission repair or replacement. For vehicles with the 97 cubic inch 1.6-liter engine, the risk is significantly lower as the transmission handles the less powerful engine better. Risks increase for drivers who favor quick starts, winter wheel spins, or aggressive downshifting during overtaking. Some Astra models were equipped with the Easytronic automated transmission, which is essentially a regular F17 or M20 manual gearbox with all of its problems and flaws, but fitted with an automatic clutch. For smooth operation, it requires regular clutch point adjustments and fluid changes. If vibration occurs during gentle braking, the transmission may need to be recalibrated. Easytronic does not handle wheel spins well, as they can lead to overheating and cause the transmission to enter emergency mode, preventing reverse gear from engaging. To restore functionality, you need to let the gearbox cool down, and sometimes recalibration is also necessary. In addition to the automated transmission, the Astra was equipped with several types of ASIN automatic gearboxes, which have a solid lifespan and can easily reach over 186,000 miles with proper maintenance and moderate use. By the way, transmission or suspension repairs won't require large investments. The suspension in the Astra H is reliable and provides good comfort, but it's important to remember that sagging springs and an overloaded sedan trunk can significantly reduce the lifespan of the rear axle bushing. The weakest point in the suspension is the front hub, specifically the speed sensor, which can trigger ABS errors. The sensor's lifespan is about 31,000 miles, while the hub bearing lasts around 43,000 miles. Other suspension components with proper care can last about 62,000 miles. The steering system in the Astra is also quite reliable and rarely causes problems, but it's highly recommended to check the steering rack for leaks before purchasing. There are no major issues with the braking system. The brake discs are durable and can last through 5 sets of brake pads, equivalent to about 93,000 miles, and are not very sensitive to puddles or overheating. If the odometer shows around 62,000 miles and the seller claims the brake discs have been recently replaced, it might be a sign of tampered mileage. As for the electronics, the most common issues occur with the climate control system. However, when inspecting the car, it's important to check the functionality of all systems, including the multimedia system and the display. Cruise control, steering column switches, and windshield wipers require special attention, especially regarding the steering column switches and the buttons on the central console. If there are issues with their operation, the problem is likely with the body control module, BCM, which controls many electrical circuits in the vehicle, including the immobilizer. Repairing or replacing the BCM can be quite costly, as it requires a dealer's scanner, which not every mechanic has. Among the minor electrical problems, the low quality of the wiring in the door stands out, as it sometimes breaks at the flex points. The first symptoms of this issue are crackling sounds from the door speaker and a malfunctioning central locking system. The central lock may fail to unlock due to worn micro switches in the driver's door, leading to the possibility of it unlocking unexpectedly, such as while parked. If the locks click when you lightly tap the door panel, it's time to address them and replace the micro switches in the mechanism. Despite its low cost, the interior of a used Astra H looks quite good. Squeaks are rare and the plastic is is very durable. However, the steering column switches, buttons, and gear shift levers will likely show signs of wear. The steering wheel and door handles lose their original shine, and at mileage exceeding 124,000 miles, the mats also begin to wear. A combination of these factors can indirectly indicate the vehicle's mileage, which, by the way, can be easily tampered with in this model. The Astra H was the first Opel vehicle to receive the maximum rating of 5 stars in the Euro NCAP crash tests. The tested model was a 5-door hatchback, and at the time of testing in 2004, it was recognized as the safest car in its class. The Opel Astra H is a sensible choice for those looking for a compact and easy-to-operate vehicle. However, finding a model that meets your expectations may not be easy. Today, you can see many Astra H models on the streets, which indicates a high interest in this model as well as its availability and reliability. The best option for purchase would be a vehicle with gasoline engines of 1.6, 1.8, or 2.0 liters paired with a manual or traditional automatic transmission. If any of you are current or former owners of this model, please share your thoughts in the comments. Your input may help those considering purchasing such a vehicle. Wishing everyone successful choices and see you soon.